Mhm. How lovely. But so, and your teacher was not in a position, but then that was more of a laboratory work. But then I would also like you to share, if you can, about then you decided to after learning from Khalid ji, you decided to open up not your own lab, but you still had a few questions, and which were not only related to the craft of acting, but philosophy of acting and philosophy of life, is what I believe. So, how did you arrive to those questions, and what motivated you? So, just to give again, intro, जो जिन लोगों को पता नहीं है, तो हम उसके बारे में बात करेंगे, लेकिन आदिल दा ने कुछ एक को एक्टर्स के साथ हम्पी में कुछ एक साल लेबोरेटरी वर्क चलाया था, जो कि बहुत ही रेयर है इंडिया में, कुछ ही लोग हैं जो अभी कर रहे हैं
एक
और
साल
कर
नहीं,
रहे
2.5 साल,
हैं, सॉरी
2.5 साल।
2.5 साल, सॉरी। सो तो क्या था जो which still keep you going, or what were those questions? Because I'm pretty curious about if you can share those questions, because
Yeah.
बहुत बार क्या होता है आदिल दा कि ऐसे सवाल एज एन आर्टिस्ट, एज अ ह्यूमन बीइंग हमारे मन में आते हैं, बट बाकी सब कचरा साफ करके just to see that sharp
Thank
question
you, sir.
which is going to, or the feeling that if you could
Yeah.
share.
Well, uh, after working with Khalid for from 95 till almost end of 1998,
Mhm. 3
in
years.
between, no, in between, I had been to Holland and also worked there and taught there because my money got over, so I had to go and earn money and come back to work with Khalid.
Right.
So 1999, I did this play Othello, which one of your SEHAR members have seen. And that play was raved by all these great newspapers in England. And
Othello.
Othello. So I came back and started teaching. So while I was working at the National School of Drama from, 1999, I came back and I was I was pretty inspired that, oh, okay, I'm not so bad because I believed at least the those newspapers were pretty prestigious, and I thought, okay, they're not most really lying that I'm good. So I was a bit settled.
Right.
The questions that the question that you asked me, what are my questions? My questions were like, is this all about acting? But another fundamental question was that when I did Othello, the darkness, the brutality, the cruelty, the sort of those aspects that I had accessed within myself, it sort of it smeared me when I came out as well. I got tainted. I felt that I'm
Right.
tainted with the unwise choices, the brutal choices that Othello made to kill Desdemona. That
Right.
he's so stupid that he did not even, inquire with his wife that is this true? He just believed in it. How unwise can one be? And after believing in it, the actions of this man, which led him to kill his beloved wife, in order for me to act convincingly and credibly, I had to also access those aspects of mine where I had seen my brutality, my cruelty within myself, which was greatly appreciated by the reviewers and audience. But what happened to me? So the question that I asked was, do I have to deteriorate as a human being in everyday life in order to become a better actor? Because I had nightmares. I had issues of that I have become so that this particular experience also I had once in NSD when I did Mephistopheles. The
Right.
same, but this one was because I did Othello for a longer time, and
Mm-hmm.
every day it was a very, very high demand from the director to be true. And
Right.
Royston Abel, and I are classmates, say he was absolutely brutal. Like Adil, no, it's fake. We have to be true. So I had to dig deeper in order for me to be true every night that I perform. So in
Right.
order to make sure that I'm credible and I'm coming up with true feelings and emotions, I had to
Right.
find ways. Sometimes it happened, sometimes it didn't.
Mm-hmm.
Sometimes it happened, but the intensity I felt yesterday, today did not happen. Sometimes I found that, oh, if I do because my body went like that, that's why I
Mm-hmm.
felt that. Next day I did my body, but I felt nothing. So
Right.
there was this inconsistency in the craft as well. Like,
Mhm.
how do I say and do things night after night, speaking the same words, but I still do not lose the freshness, the truth of the first day or the
Right.
day that I found it? This was one of the most important part of my questions. The other
Right.
question I said that do I get to be, do I have to be tainted and smeared by all these dark qualities we know
Right.
we all have? Or if I have to, then is it good for me? Which I felt not, because I
Mm-hmm.
don't want to look at my dad and when he's crying, I'm looking at an old man who's crying and not being his son, who's Adil, and having empathy. I'm like, that old bugger is crying, The word observation,
Mm-hmm.
which we are taught, all of us, but son's empathy,
Mm-hmm.
observation is cruel. That's what I
Right.
felt.
Right.
So instead of the word observation, I now use embodiment or empathy, deep
Right.
empathy, and you embody the person and you experience it without observing through a microscope. That, that's
Right.
the man. Oh, look, how is he sitting? How is he doing? This is what we are taught. And I
Mhm.
think that is absolutely uh, vital for all actors to know that no, that is not the way to go.
Right.
It will make a person extremely indifferent towards all the sufferings of the other people, including maybe yourself,
Right.
and the repercussions of those dark spaces which will open up. And it might then, I've seen a lot of actors to take to
Right.
drugs and alcohol and blah 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 blah.
Yeah.
And I had a first-hand experience of another actor who was trained in actor studio in America and who had to come and work with me. He was sent, the person was sent to me to work with me, and I had to work. And then the person told me that, oh my God, you should come and teach there because every actor, there thinks the more the misery, better you are as an actor. That's the terrible way to go.
Yeah.
And also, all the great actors' autobiography that I read, their personal lives, most of them were terrible,
Right.
including the great Marcel Marceau. I know that from his grandson. I met him. That is a
Oh.
very interesting
Yeah.
incident, which I think
Yeah.
I should tell you. That I was in Pondicherry with my teacher Khalid, working on theater in 1996. And I met this guy. We were in a party, and he was like 21 or something. And I asked him, "What are you doing here?" He spoke in French accent. He said, "I'm here to learn spirituality, and I want to be, mystic." And he asked me, "What are you doing?" I said, "Well, I want to learn acting," and he's my teacher. I pointed to Khalid, and he said, "Is there anybody in your family who is an actor?" I said, "No, actually, my father was a teacher. My grandfather was a mystic. He was a Sufi saint."
Mm-hmm.
And he said, "Very strange. My grandfather was a very famous actor. I want to be a mystic. Your grandfather was a mystic. You want to be an actor." So he said that. Then I asked him that, "Who is your grandfather?" He said, "Maybe you know him. He was very famous, Marcel Marceau." I was like, "Oh my God, grandson!" Anyways, cut to 10 years later, he comes to see Othello in Chennai. And he
Okay.
said, "Oh my God, you have become an actor." I said, "No, no, I'm still trying to act. I have not become an actor yet. I'm just acting." And he has already become the personal physician of a mystic, and he practices mysticism.
Right.
So the question that you asked, so my question was that, do I have to deteriorate?
Right.
And how is it possible for me to retain the degree of conviction, which if I said 80% every day, saying
Right.
the same lines, same words, I
Because
do not
theater
fall
actors
from
has to
them.
repeat, yeah. Unlike
Yeah,
film actors who have given one good take.
80%,
Yeah.
80%. Above that, if I can go, is okay, but I must not, that has to be my bedrock benchmark, that I cannot fall from there. But I fell several times. So I could not digest that. I could not accept the fact that how is it possible for me to fall from the credibility and conviction of the truth? And I knew that I got it, but I didn't have a have the have the roadmap so that
Hmm.
I can travel through and reach there that intensity of truth every time. So
Right.
these were the two main questions that I was seeking, and also the training that I got from Khalid and other teacher, that how is it possible for me also to translate
Hmm.
those inner impulses and humble impulses sometimes, not the stereotype ones, not the brilliant ideas which come to our mind, ऐसे कर देंगे, वैसे कर देंगे, ये दिखा देंगे, वो हमारे हैबिट में हम बचपन से वही सीखते आए हैं, पर पड़ोसियों को दिखाने के लिए ये करो, हमारा हैबिट ही वैसा है. वेस्टर्न स्टूडेंट्स के हैबिट्स अलग है, मैंने देखा है क्योंकि मैंने वहां पढ़ाया है, तो वो
Hmm.
लोग they don't care about what the other thinks of you. They are trained in their household to express themselves freely and no very little taboo, very
Right.
little judgment. But we
Right.
Indians grew up with so much of like showing off and putting on mask. ऐसे नहीं
Right.
करते बेटा, वैसे करो बेटा, ऐसा करो बेटी, मत करो. इसमें कुछ और अच्छाई तो है, लेकिन
Right.
आर्टिस्टिक प्रैक्टिस में वो सारी चीजें आपके आरे आती.
Right.
हमको नकाब उतरना है, नकाब
Right.
पहनना नहीं है.
Right.
तो ये basic fundamental these two questions so that I can prepare my body
Right.
in order to embody those impulses which are true creative impulses, which are not seen or heard from someone else, but
Yeah.
from my within primordial being, which comes out.
Hmm.
And maybe not even, it's not, the source is even not me. The source is even way more and bigger than me.
Hmm.
Maybe from, if I dare say, from the primordial humanity, from somewhere else which flows through me
Right.
and telling me, Adil, gently, just look to the left. And I look left. It's not decided, just look left, or sit down or say the word. This is how the feeling comes, and I say it.
Right.
Yeah. So I hope I have answered your question.
No, absolutely. So there were basically, as you said, that there is a catch in every actor's practice, and I was anyway going to ask you to, if you could just talk about a little bit about this practice and these revelations which came to you through your practice.